Welcome to Bickerlist, a podcast as entertaining for your ears as Del Taco is for your pie hole. The premise is simple. Each podcast we have a predetermined topic, and we each bring our personal top fives to the table and battle it out. Our topic this week is best action movies of the last decade. Welcome, I'm Brad, your host, and with me, as always, are two of the most opinionated jerks and idiots I know, Brian Lawrence.
Hello, hello.
And Zach Ford.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah, you guys ready?
Oh, sure. I'm nervous about this one.
Really?
I really am. I apparently looking from this list of movies, I have not watched near enough action movies. So, yeah, let's go.
I think the biggest thing I was surprised about is how many decent movies there are for the last 10 years. I mean, 10 years
there
is a
were
long
so
time.
many.
There's so many movies that didn't exist 10 years ago, that have become major franchises, etc. So,
or ones that people just know. They talk about this. Yeah, it's incredible.
I'm really excited about it. I realized that a lot of the things I thought were action movies are actually not. So I wrote my list and then I actually looked up the definition of an action movie, and yeah, so it's changed a little. But hey, we got five. I got five. You got five. It'll be good. Before we get too much further into it, I want to make sure that we hit our sponsor. So, Brian, do you have our sponsor for this week?
No.
For real?
For real.
This is 2 weeks in a row now.
I just might not be the sponsor guy.
Zach, you saved us last time. Do you have another one?
Oh, I've got one.
You do?
Yes.
All right.
Because I knew Brian was going to not do it.
He's really becoming kind of the weakest link in the chain here.
You had two jobs. Be here. Get the sponsor.
This is really fun. I'm really glad we're doing this again.
I'm here for you.
All right, Zach. Well, what do you got? What do you got for us?
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Poinco Poncho Playing Cards. Any game you'd like to play on a card, we've got it covered. Enter the code Bickerlist for 17% off. Our cheat code was character capped. So.
Oh man! And you stepped with the you didn't do the B?
Well, I tried something.
Bickerlist. That sounds a little.
Bickerlist. Well, hey, it saves the people money.
Isn't that the guy that
17%?
That's the guy that flew too close to the sun and
that's almost 18%.
It is just one shy.
18%. They feel like you got to give them at least. Yeah, that's fair.
Well, it's not up to me. It's up to Poinco Poncho Playing Cards. So
Poinco Poncho Playing Cards coming through in the clutch.
Coming through in the clutch.
Man, I'm really excited about that. If you want to be a sponsor of our next episode, reach out. It's bickerlist@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Instagram and hit us up there. I think, but I'm really excited about this. Poinco Poncho Playing Cards. We appreciate your support. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move into the mailbag. We actually had a lot of people that responded to episode 1. There were feelings.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of feelings here, guys.
Oh, for sure. I mean, feelings is probably a polite way to say it. I'll just jump right in. Zach's answer is best. That one was helpful. For Zach and Brian, I've never heard of several of those fast food restaurants. That was another.
Raising Cane's.
Well,
do yourself a favor.
Another one said, I might disagree with the order, but this is a pretty good list to me. That's great. Brian, you are definitely from the West Coast with that list. That's fine. You say that like it's a bad thing. How did Wendy's not make it on here?
All right, I will be honest with you. Wendy's came to mind after we filmed after we recorded the podcast, and I will say this: Wendy's is a solid honorable mention because they've got good Frosties, they got good shakes, good fries, but honorable mention. Sorry.
Somebody said this is an important argument to have. Thank you. And the last one, Brad's voice is so sexy. I feel like that was you.
Oh wow! No, I didn't write that, but oh, thank you.
I mean, that's we keep this anonymous. Yeah, sure. Well, that's the mailbag.
Okay, well that's pretty good. So there was an opportunity for people to vote.
There was.
I'm curious. We have some data. Brian, do you have the results of the data?
I do. From the 28 responses,
Solid for our first episode, I'd say.
From the responses that we got back, Team Brad came with 42.9% of the votes. Team Zach came with 32.1%. Team Brian, 25%. So Team Brad, you're bringing home the W for this first one.
Hey, everybody. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm really thankful for your support.
What was the reason? What was the reason you got number one on there?
Just my list was better, I think.
Yeah, but there was some kind of call out. Is it because we had made up? People felt like we made up the names of our places, and you went with. You did have Panera on there, I will say as well, so that may have attracted some fringe.
I just feel like
fans.
There was a lot of comments that said hashtag bogus for the Panera call out.
well, you know what? 40% doesn't lie, and that's what got me the W. I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, well,
thank you to the good listeners.
Way to go! It was a good job. It was a valiant effort. It was good.
I'm going to say I'll lean more on the valiant effort side than the good job. I do say, looking back, hindsight being 20/20, I should have bit more distinction on
25.
Hindsight being 25.
25%.
Yeah, I know. He's looking back. He really doesn't have to look back though. He's just back there.
Keep going, Brian.
No. This is great. You guys just finished. Let me know whenever you're ready.
Just let me know when you catch up. I'll be fine.
Oh my gosh.
Let me know.
No, really.
2.
But I thought that we were going through a list of places that actually had good food, not places that everybody had good feelings about or that they remembered, that they could get good toys from. I thought it was actually like, hey, who's going to have a culinary good place?
I have many hobbies.
I'm sorry you misunderstood the premise of the show that we are all doing together. But what we said was best fast food restaurants. Any other details?
You can, and it's up to you.
Yeah, it's up to you, man. I'm not arguing that McDonald's is the best food. However,
Yeah, whatever.
I love McDonald's.
Let's do this one now.
All right, let's just do
Hold
this
on,
one.
hold on. There was an insane amount of trash talk against McDonald's after the survey went out. If you have a bone to pick with McDonald's,
I still think it's a garbage pick.
you might find bones there.
They
grind 'em.
literally probably invented fast food.
Yeah, and now they squeeze chicken nuggets out of a tube.
Yeah, chicken tubes.
Listen, I don't condone.
Chicken tubes.
I know it's a problem.
Chicken tubes.
I know.
I'm not saying it's the healthiest thing, but I am saying it's numero uno for me.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
We should probably get to this week's.
Yeah. This week is exciting. Best action movies of the last decade. Pretty excited about this one. Brian, why don't you go ahead? What's your number 5?
Yeah. So again, I'm nervous going into this one. There was a lot of movies on IMDb that I had not seen, but I just starting with the good old American classic, Captain America: The First Avenger, come out in 2011. Number 5 on my list.
I have to be honest with you. That is a great choice. I love that choice.
Yeah. I do say like the How It Should Have Ended video almost kept me from putting that on there. If you've not seen that one, they trash every video and going on there. The things that they called out as far as like either plot holes or stuff on there, I was like, man, that's like right on. So I was like, man, this one almost made an honorable mention list, but it secured the spot as number 5.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough for me, and I probably am guaranteeing myself an L for this week. I don't have any Marvel on there because I just gave up. I gave up like 10 years ago.
Wow.
There were just so many of them,
so
and they're
sad.
so fast, and I can't. I was like, next week is the next one, and then 2 weeks out, Captain America 17. Rise of the.
Don't do this to yourself.
I just don't have the time or the energy for it.
Wow.
So I know. I'm sorry,
Okay.
but
All right.
It's an L. There's definitely an L there.
Well, the thing is that people are going to come to his, they're going to come in. There's going to be a handful of people that say, no, Marvel sucks. But anyway, I'm interested
I'm not
now.
saying they suck. I just feel like they just oversaturated the market a little bit.
You can put as nice of words as you want to put behind Marvel not being on your list. They're not going to be there.
They're not going to make the top 5.
Well, now, I'm interested now, though, even more in your 5.
Oh, I can't wait to get to it.
Yeah,
but
let's do it.
Zach's got to go first.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This number 5 was a hard fought position because there's so many movies I wanted to put in the top 5. So take it or leave it. Number 5 for me, Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Another one.
That's wrong universe, Brad.
No, I'm
the
just
DC.
saying it's another one.
You skipped it? You didn't watch
He
it?
just doesn't want superhero movies.
No, I did actually. I watched Wonder Woman.
I watched it too, but
It's
top
a
five.
great top five. Here's the thing. It's a great rewatch. My wife loves the movie. It was a really good gateway drug for her into the world of superhero movies. And it's a solid rewatch. I mean, it has the things that a lot of DC movies do not have,
Which
is good storytelling, good action scenes, and it all comes together in the end very well. I felt like it's a really good, well-rounded movie, given the other movies that surround it. Aquaman, don't get me started.
That was rough.
That was rough. That was a rough
That's
one.
Brad's number 3.
Aquaman, even I mean the Batman versus Superman. I mean it's just the whole. So I feel like that doesn't accurately depict what DC comics are.
If all
Wonder
the rest
Woman,
of them
number
were
5.
swings and misses, this one was like a bunt.
Keep your bunts. Keep your bunts to yourself.
Bunts to yourself.
That's my number 5.
Okay.
Wonder
all right.
Woman.
My number 5, Edge of Tomorrow. You guys seen that one?
Yep, absolutely.
I love it.
Also posthumously known as.
Oh yeah, what was the other title it had?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, they had to change the title, I think.
They
right?
did. No, that is true.
Yeah, it's basically like Groundhog Day, but like with lots of action and stuff that blows up and
Sure.
guns and whatever.
Never saw it.
Oh man, you're missing it. You
I'm
should
about to
definitely
say,
go
this,
back.
This is a hard.
Live, die, repeat.
Live, die, repeat. Yeah,
That was the thing that they had on all the posters. It was like going to be the name of the movie, and ended up being Edge of Tomorrow.
it's Tom Cruise. He's trying to get through a day and not die. He struggles for a while.
Sure.
It's a great movie though. You
Spoilers?
should definitely just pop it in.
That's a solid one. It's
Yeah.
been a while since I've watched Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
When did that one come out?
Oh gosh, I don't have the date on the
May
on the
28th,
list
2014.
Oh, look at that! Somebody's
this
got
guy.
Google popped up. That's
here. 2014.
great. All right.
What about you? That's our first round there. What
First
about you
round?
for number
First
4,
round.
Brian?
So this was the one that I was actually sad, because the one that I wanted to pick actually came out. I'll say it first, and I'll tell you more about it. The Dark Knight Rises, 2012. So we're talking, Tom Hardy and the Bane and everything like that. Dark Knight Rises, big fan, but I was sad that The Dark Knight was 2008 because I thought that the Heath Ledger one was just incredible.
That was a great movie. I'm not going to argue that at all.
Yeah, so I looked through, and to me, in the last 10 years, that was one of the ones that was just kind of a no-brainer. It had to be on this list, something related to The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue that at all. I think that's a good pick. I love those. I love that whole trilogy.
Yeah, they were so good.
There's so much to Christopher Nolan's depiction of Batman. It went past comics, in my opinion. Batman is one of the first that group of movies is one of the first sets of comic book movies that really became like this is a real action movie. There's tons of stuff happening here. It didn't make me feel like I was being pulled into a storyline that's been around for a long time.
But it
felt
wasn't
so fresh.
campy. It wasn't
Yeah,
campy.
it was,
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
you're throwing back to like Batman and Robin with what is
Right.
it, Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
And all this type of stuff.
Mr.
Like
Freeze.
Yeah,
there
Jim
was
Carrey
so-
was in one of those.
yeah, there were so many of these movies that when we were going through this list, I was like, man, I want to put this one on there, but it's so campy. Like these ones were the ones that like, okay, all right, they did justice by this.
I think I just realized something, guys. I think the Batman trilogy was the thing that made me stop caring about the Marvel movies, because I wanted them to all be a little bit darker, a little bit like rougher, and the Marvel side is much like
a little
funnier,
bit too squeaky.
a little bit like quirky, and I know that that's their thing, but I don't know. There's something just about what Christopher Nolan did with Batman that's special. Anyway,
Zach, what about you?
Coming in at number 4 for me is I think this movie is Django Unchained, and I'm such a fan of Django Unchained. I think that is it's one of my favorite Tarantino movies. I think that it's such a crazy storyline. There's fantastic acting in it. It's Leo, Jamie Foxx, Christoph Waltz. It's like I just feel like that movie as a whole vibe. It really is like its whole experience. Samuel Jackson. Just the whole cast. Django Unchained, so good. I've watched that movie. I can't tell you how many times.
The cast was like star-studded. Like it was.
Oh my gosh,
It was a stacked cast.
But just everything the movie stands for with overcoming all obstacles, the dude getting his freedom back. Oh, I loved it. Django Unchained.
Am I the only one though that's getting a little bit tired of Tarantino? Like, I feel like the way he tells stories with the non-chronological timelines and stuff, and it's I'm just getting tired of it.
I think that you're the only one. Here's the thing. I will say this: the movies that he has done in recent years, I feel like they're a different type of storytelling. They're not Django Unchained, Inglourious Bastards.
Oh gosh, Inglourious Bastards was so good.
Oh my gosh! But the most recent movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that movie, I don't know if you saw it.
I have not seen that one yet.
See, it's its own turn from kind of how he tells stories. It's very non-chronological. It kind of throws you right in the middle of a timeline of something. I think that movie has a great. After you've watched it, you come away with it like, oh my gosh, I remember hearing about this and didn't realize that's the story I was in the middle of that was being told, which is interesting.
But you watch
really
Tarantino
good.
Just because you know everybody's going to die.
Yeah.
Like, that's part of the fun, is because you're like, oh, maybe this person's, they're going to.
There is an action element to it. That's
is.
what we're talking about here.
There is.
You know? So, all right, my number 4 pick. I love this movie, Fury.
Ooh.
Have you guys seen that one?
I saw it. That's the tank one.
So good.
It was good. Wouldn't make a top 5 for me, but it was a solid movie.
Dude. That's an honorable mention for sure.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic.
I went and saw this one in the theater, and then it was out on whatever, you could rent it. And then my dad actually used to, be a gunner in tanks. Like
that's right.
In the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Hey, you want to watch this movie?" I was like, "Are you sure?"
I was about to say, he wanted to watch it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, "Is this going to be cool for you?" He's like, "Yeah, why?" And I was like, "I don't know. Is this going to give you flashbacks or whatever?" He's like, "Apps." So sure enough, we were watching it, and in the middle of it, I lean over to him. I'm like, "How accurate is this, Dad? Like, does this feel true?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, totally. This is
no kidding,
spot on." Yeah. Really, I love that movie. A lot of great action scenes. Yeah.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. Holding your breath in a lot of it.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, Brian. Numero tre.
So down to the top 3. So you and I are automatically just going to find friction this entire time, which is okay. That's fine. That's the point of the podcast.
That's right. Bickerlist, right?
Avengers Endgame was coming in as number 3.
It's a solid choice.
So to me, just the whole Avengers world that came through here, Endgame, one of the things that bugs me the most about movies or about anything is that when there's not closure, when there's not a really good ending to something, when something just kind of gets left airy, when it gets left open, I hate it when people don't piece together and kind of tie up loose ends. And the fact that this was basically a 10 or 15 year running thing, that this was it.
Yeah, this is it.
Like,
so much pressure on that.
There was so much pressure in the fact that it's a 3-hour movie. There's a lot that you can go wrong in a 3-hour movie, and they just
absolutely.
It was so cool. It was a lot of action and energy, but they just tied it up so well.
Yeah, it was solid.
And 2019 Endgame.
You know what? I haven't even seen it.
No kidding.
Like the majority of the movies in the last decade from Marvel.
So you just checked out from Marvel altogether.
It's not even that I checked out. I think I'll probably go back at some point and watch everything in order. Yeah. I just feel like I don't know what was going on. Maybe it was the Dark Knight thing. Maybe it was just, I don't know.
There was a lot at one time, and if you missed 5 or 6 back to back, you're like, well, if I can't watch that because then I'll
that's
ruin
what happened.
The ones before that.
I did watch Black Panther though.
Oh, dude, that was good.
I thought that one
a lot of them
so freaking good.
They breadcrumb into each other, which is helpful. I would encourage you to go back and check them out. I think you'll probably have a different view on them now.
I probably will. When my son gets a little bit older, maybe we'll do it together.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Zach, what about you? What's 3?
Number 3, Mad Max Fury Road. I love Mad Max. I think that movie it's one of those movies that I don't like watching it a lot. I watched it maybe 2 times because it's just in my mind a fantastic movie, except for the breast milk. I don't know if you guys remember that. There's this whole part that's the mother's milk. That part freaking weird. Everything else, if you haven't seen Mad Max Fury Road, go watch it. You'll get what I'm talking about. But the shooting style, Tom Hardy. I mean, really, they booted Mad Max off in this decade as a fantastic new series. So Mad Max Fury Road.
Visually amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, it holds the test of time. You go back and watch it, and you're like, man, this is a cinematic feat. Like
I never watched the first ones. Or
I did.
ones? Are there more than one? Was there just Mad Max?
I'm not. I've watched 2 of them, I believe, with Mel Gibson, and that's the ones are quite long. They're very dirty, hairy, long, drawn out.
Yeah,
very wide shots, very long scenes. But I mean, they created a whole genre.
Crazy. All right, number 3 for me, John Wick. You guys seen that?
So solid.
Oh my gosh.
All of them are solid, but yes.
So this was one that I was looking through IMDb and I was like, man, John Wick's going to be coming up. I didn't see it. And I looked at my wife last night. I was like, I think I need to stay up late watching this so that I can possibly put this on a top 5.
It's real
because
good.
I feel like it would be on there. Had I
It's
seen
so
it.
on. Yeah, it's
I've seen some of the scenes where he just kind of cleans up the guys in his house.
That's the whole movie.
Yeah, I saw the scene. And
That's all of the movies.
gosh.
It's all of them. Yeah.
No, I feel like I'd love it, but yeah.
It's like John Wick 5. It's gonna be like, you stepped on my cat's tail, and then he's killing people for like as many people as he can for the next 2 hours.
Gosh.
It's great.
Yes.
That's what I want. That's what I want in an action movie.
It's
Like I don't need. I just
It's Keanu's best work, personally. I mean, I love Matrix, the first Matrix, and the Lake House, the movie.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures.
But it is that movie. It's just all the series, all of the John Wicks. But it's just a great, thick action movie. Like it's just one thing after Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted, man.
They're coming back. They're coming out with a new one.
Can't
soon.
wait.
And I don't know. I'm kind of.
No.
I'm iffy.
Feels
about
like a
it.
Dumb and Dumber reprise to
Yeah,
me.
I'm a
That's
little-
how it feels.
A little nervous about it.
Well, who knows?
Keanu, I believe in. I don't know the other guy's actor name.
Unfortunately, Rufus. I mean, what are they going to do with George Carlin? I mean, that guy.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
He gone.
Oh.
Hey, Brian. Numero 2.
Numero 2. So this one, again, this list was sitting in front of a computer with IMDb for probably a couple hours. And so if Avengers Endgame was 3, there was something about from 2019, let's jump back to 2012, the original Avengers. So
Jeez.
I told you, we're going to have...
That's how long you've been out of the game.
Yeah,
on the
we're
that's
gonna
8
have
years ago,
issues.
Brad.
I mean, fine. If you
So-
want to just keep choosing Marvel movies,
Oh, my
it's not your
goodness.
top 5 Marvel movies of the last decade.
I mean, it is a high percentage of just general movies released.
I at least have
It's probably 25% of all the movies
Yeah,
released from
blockbusters at least.
I can at least look and say, hey, you know what? Can't say anything about John Wick. Haven't really seen it. You're sitting there and saying, like, well, I've clearly not seen this one, so I'm still going to have a very firm and definite opinion on why it's a bad pick. Like, come on.
No, I think the firm and definite opinion comes with just the fact that there's just little to no exploration in your list at all. You're just kind of hanging out in like lunchbox territory.
Says the man.
Says
He
the
used
man
to
who
make
used to make lunchboxes.
Yeah, seriously. You literally used to make...
Lunchbox.
Maybe that's it. Maybe you've made enough Avengers things over, like, you know, the course of your career that you're like, I'm done looking at this
I
now.
don't think you
I
can
think what
judge
that
that
does-
based off of lunchboxes.
But I will say, Avengers, the Avengers movie coming out of 2012. The reason why it is holding that number 2 spot for me is that there's a sense of nostalgia of comic books. Like there was enough buildup with Iron Man, with a lot of these other movies that they were hinting at for probably 3 to 5 years. Hey, Avengers is coming. Avengers is coming. Avengers is coming. And when it did, it was just kind of like this. Yes. Okay. This is what we've been waiting for. So it was built up and they did a great job teeing it up. So Avengers number 2.
It doesn't hold the test of time well. I will say Avengers 1, it does definitely tee it up to set up the characters, you know, especially because we hadn't seen a lot of their movies at that point. But I will say the thing that really caught me off guard in the middle of you saying that was the fact that Brad can look at a lunchbox and feel like he's seen the movie.
That's all it is.
It's like a superpower in itself.
I think what I'm getting at is that is it really an action movie if like a 6-year-old kid can carry it around in his lunchbox? Is it like a real solid action movie, or is it like a cartoon kind of deal that's
You're gonna love my tops.
I'm about to say, sure, let's throw out those arbitrary weights and measures as to what classifies an action
I'm just
movie.
asking questions.
Here's where I'm at.
We'll let the people decide.
This is number
seriously,
2.
Zach, save us. Take
Number
us.
2. I mean, it's not going to be any. Brad's not going to like this.
Oh,
He might.
jeez.
This might be one that he's come through on. I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy, number 2.
I actually do really like that
number-
one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wait, number 1 or 2?
Number 1.
Okay.
That is my number 2 spot. Is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, that's confusing.
The first
The first Guardians
the
of the
first
Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, they're both great, but the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Here's the thing: the opening shot of Guardians of the Galaxy, where he's dancing, it's just such a freaking. It's a whole feeling. It's a whole. You can get a taste of what world you're about to go into just based off of that first scene.
Well, Chris Pratt was incredible.
Oh, yeah,
Chris Pratt was
absolutely.
incredible in both, and the music on there was incredible too.
Absolutely, that still stands out. Guardians of the Galaxy. The songs that have made a resurgence because of that movie.
Oh, yeah.
are still
Yep.
hitting the charts because of
That one's on my honorable mention list.
Yeah.
I actually
Guardians
really
of the
like
Galaxy.
it.
Yeah, it was good.
So good. Brad, number 2.
All right, number 2, guys. I also have The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, I love that movie. I really do.
So good.
Oh, the bird. Like
I was born in the dark.
I was born in the Nobody cared until I put on the mask.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was a great way to end the trilogy. I was
Right.
I was just disappointed, like that there can't be more. I just
Yeah.
wanted more. But I thought that movie was great.
The end of it was a little soft. I will say that, where it's like, well, hey, he's sitting on at a table in Milan with Catwoman, and Alfred gives him that little nod, and you're like, and that's the movie. Like,
And that's
what
it.
the heck?
Well, that wasn't really the movie. That was the end part of the movie. But I will take you back to the beginning of the movie. Do you remember the part with the airplane and they blow off the back of it and it's hanging there? They actually did that in real life. That was no CG at all. They literally hung a fuselage vertically in the air. And I was like, man, I just really appreciate when people go and do that level of excellence with movies. They can do anything with a green screen more.
That was the Dark Knight when they used the wingsuits. Is that right? Were the first, or is that Dark Knight Rises with the wingsuits? You remember what scene I'm talking about, where they all jump out and they do this wingsuit into a building? I can't remember what movie it was.
Yeah, it was. It was Batman when they were doing that kind of like,
Is it Rises, or I can't remember if it was the first or second one, but I should know that was a real stunt.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where everything has to go right to make that happen.
Well, the fact that Mad Max shows up on yours and Dark Knight has shown itself there, to me, I think it actually shows about Tom Hardy.
I would agree with that.
Kind of looking and say, I feel like he's one of those guys that's kind of like a sleeper pick when it comes to like, wow, Tom Hardy's in there.
Did you guys watch Venom?
I have not seen
Oh
that.
my gosh. That is the sleeper movie of the last 10 years. We just
Really?
watched it. We watched it a couple nights ago. And it is the sleeper movie, the movie that no one talks about. I remember when it came out, no one was like, hey, you got to go watch Venom. It is so good.
Feels like it would be dark.
No, it's not. That's the craziest part
Really?
about Venom. No, it's really not dark. It's humorous. It's like it's Tom Hardy as Deadpool in a sense. It's like he's living in those, but it's like it's weird because you clearly have a good guy and you clearly have a bad guy, and Tom Hardy, and it's just I was so blown away that it was that good. I mean, me and my dad, we watch movies together all the time, and we were both like, how did we miss this? It just literally felt like, I mean, because I think it's 2018, but literally I remember other people went and saw it and they were like, yeah. But I was really, it may just be because I had such low expectations and hadn't heard anything, but do yourself a favor and watch Venom. If you like Tom Hardy and you kind of like the good versus evil world landscape, it was solid.
Well, Brad's going to stay away from that, apparently, according to this podcast.
Actually, you know what's crazy? Our producer, JP, has actually met Tom Hardy.
No.
Did you know that? Yeah,
No way.
Hey, JP, flip your mic on and tell the people the story. Come on, man.
I haven't heard this story yet.
JP. I don't know what it is. He's behind the glass. His mouth is always moving. He cannot figure the mic out to save his
He keeps
life.
doing the neck cut thing.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to tell the story. Maybe we can get him to put it in the show notes later.
Show notes.
It's a really great story.
Huh.
JP, try to put it in the show notes.
Try to get a new microphone.
Yeah, we should. Maybe it's like a loose connection or something.
Whatever.
All right, so we've made it. We are at the number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty exciting, guys. We're here. Brian, what is the best action movie of the last decade?
So as you can tell, I mean, there's a big list to pick from for this. This is this one was hard. It really was. This was a nervous thing for me, but in talking and really just meditating and praying through this, there was really one clear movie, and that was made back in 2010. Believe it or not, started off the decade.
Okay.
It grossed $292.58 million at the box office. Director Christopher Nolan with Leo DiCaprio, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Ellen Page.
Yes.
I'm talking Inception.
Let's bring it, baby.
Inception was my number one. And to me, it really, there's nothing else that could have made that number one when I saw that was there, and just everything about the movie, just the way that they went into the dreams, the alternate realities, the fact that nothing like that had been done before, and they did it masterfully. Like, just I couldn't not to pick that one.
I got nothing bad to say about Inception. It is such a good movie.
I don't either.
I'm gonna say it's not on my list, the top 5. But if there's another version of me that has another set of 5,
kind of like in the dream world. If there's a you in the dream world somewhere,
it's just a great movie. It really is, and that movie holds. I think holding the test of time is important to me for the last 10 years. Like, I feel like if a movie comes out in 2010 and today you're like, it's kind of cheap. Like, that's not long enough to be put into the cheesy category.
But so many movies get to be remakes. They get to be like either throwbacks, or they get to be like, hey, version 2, version 3, version 4 of the movie. This was like just straight out of Chris Nolan's head, and it was incredible.
Exactly, and it was stellar cast. Yeah.
It was really fun to watch.
Just so good, yeah.
It was really fun to watch.
Yep.
All right, solid pick, Brian. Zach.
Number 1.
Yep.
Oh, guys. Force Awakens. Star Wars.
Force Awakens? Really?
Listen, okay, here's what happens. All right, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars.
Sure.
I can't say 10 years without mentioning J.J. Abrams. I mean, there's so many different opinions on the last set, the latest set finale of Star Wars.
And we're about to talk about them.
Yes. And so here is what's happened.
Sure.
I'm sitting in the theater, and I haven't felt this sinister evil from a Star Wars character in so long. The moment comes on, blaster. You got freaking Kylo Ren, the whole theater. He stops the blaster mid-go. And that's the moment I knew. And I love this movie. and I mean,
it's like 5 minutes in, right?
It's 5 minutes in, and it's just like, I hadn't felt the theater rumble like that in forever, and it was just like, oh, they went and did it. It's evil. Like, they crazy. I mean,
it was captivating. It was an engaging movie. They did a good job. Again, talk about seeing things through. Now, I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions on how this whole trilogy saga continued, but I don't know, man. I wasn't impressed. Like, I thought it was a great movie, but it was just not super impressive.
Oh, I disagree. I don't know. Anytime. I remember feeling this way when the first 3 came out. Not episodes 4, 5, and 6, but 1, 2, and 3. When I was sitting there as, I don't know, a kid, and seeing the and like the yellow text, and it starts going.
Sure, yeah, the scroll.
Like, you get the chills, and it's like, holy crap, this is happening, and I get to be a part of it.
Yeah,
it's an experience, and I got the exact same thing when I watched Force Awakens as an adult, and I watched all the way through, and I was like, I can't wait to watch this again.
Yeah.
So I have no beef.
Just what they were able to do out of the blue. I mean, so the intro to Guardians of the Galaxy and the intro to Rey in the Sunken Imperial Fighter, like, they're very similar intros because it's like they're in these vast landscapes. Chris Pratt is like digging through, he's digging through this thing looking for these guys. It's a very similar intro. There's just something about this like kickoff in both of those movies that were like, they just put you right in the middle of the world. You're immediately kind of immersed into crazy visual landscapes, and there's, an immediate chase to ensue. I don't know. The Force Awakens for me is it definitely has its flaw. The whole series, the latest 3 have their flaws, but I think that for me, I put faith in J.J. Abrams. He delivered, and Force Awakens.
I will tip my cap to the fact that Star Wars is just a classic. It's a good pick.
Sure.
That one wouldn't make my list, but I can see how it made yours. Cheers.
Thank you.
I could see how it makes yours, Zach, but it wouldn't make mine.
I can see.
Didn't say that.
That's exactly what you said. I just repeated it. So, down to me.
Yeah, seriously.
Is
Number 1 action movie of the
movie,
last decade
yes.
I'm all ears.
is Inception.
There you go.
I'm right there with you.
There you go. There you go.
Love that movie. So the first time I watched it, I was on a date with my wife, and we watched it at the Chicago IMAX, and it was probably 8 o'clock we started it. And within 20 minutes, she's sleeping. She's sleeping, and my eyes are just, I don't think I blinked. And it was a longer one. It's 2.5
This
hours.
is like eat a whole lot of salt so you don't have to go to the bathroom kind of a thing. Like,
So I'm like, just, I don't know that move.
I don't understand.
oh, it works every time. Go ahead.
More.
Okay, so I'm like, my eyes are glued to the screen, and she's, we're in a theater. It's not super comfortable seats, so she's kind of every once in a while, every half hour or so, kind of
She's tossing and turning.
a little tossing and turning, like frustrated, like
That's
like
an
the heavy.
It's an expensive nap.
You know what? I was like, whatever. So I'm gonna watch this thing. Whatever. She can get her rest. She wakes up probably 2 hours into it. It's like right as they're going like 4 levels deep. It's and it's like awesome. I cannot like even breathe. It's so cool. And she goes, "Is this stupid movie almost over?
No.
This sucks." And I was
What?
I'm like, stop that right now.
will talk
You
in the
don't
car.
even know. You don't even know.
You're talking about the number 1 movie on Brad's list.
That's right,
for the
man.
last 10
The
years.
last decade.
It'll probably last even longer than that. Like that's if there's going to be action compared. Like that's yeah.
That might make my top 10 of movies all time.
Oh, for sure.
And we may have to do a list like that later. But
I think so.
I loved Interstellar.
Oh,
So
I feel like you just
Speaking
committed
of-
a crime.
speaking of Interstellar, I really wanted that one to be on my list.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't think that that's an action movie.
I don't think it was either. I
It's
think
not
it was
an
more
action movie.
sci-fi-y.
It is
Yeah, it was
sci-fi.
really sci-fi. I had
Yeah.
it there, and I was like, what about this?
Fun
And
fact: they did advance. I believe it was kind of like black hole technology.
They
like,
did. No, there's legit been
as a result of that movie. Like
the whole quantum physics, quantum mechanics, the whole realm that is in the physics space. They nerd out over Interstellar because they actually brought in a quantum theorist or whatever. I don't know the exact title, what he goes by. But they essentially brought in someone who knows their stuff and said, if we're going to do it, this is how it has to be done. And that line of thinking has furthered exploration in space.
incredible.
All right, so let's go through. Let's name our top 5s in order. Why don't you go first, Brian? We'll do 5 to 1.
Yep. So 5, Captain America: The First Avenger from 2011, The Dark Knight Rises from 2012, Avengers: Endgame from 2019, followed by The Avengers in 2012, and Inception holding down that number 1 spot from 2010.
Okay.
For me, it's Wonder Woman, number 5, Django Unchained, Mad Max, Fury Road, Guardians of the Galaxy, Force Awakens. I don't have the years listed out. Not as cool as you.
Last 10
Definitely,
10 years.
definitely, I will say on my list in the bulk of movies that I needed to whittle this down from: Inception, Dark Knight Rises, and Thor Ragnarok was in there. But
Ooh, I
a
enjoyed
Deadpool
those.
was also on this list. But keep going.
Honorable
enjoyed
mention
it.
kind of deal.
Honorable mention kind of deal. We'll get to that.
Let's get into that in a second. My number 5 was Edge of Tomorrow. 4 was Fury. 3, John Wick. 2, Dark Knight Rises. 1, Inception.
It's a solid list.
It's a solid list.
I'm feeling good about these lists. Like I was a little shaky going in here. Now, obviously, there's some more movies that had you seen, maybe would have changed the
Yeah,
list. But from what we
agreed.
brought in, yeah,
I will say this: it really makes me feel like I need to go back and watch Inception. I mean, it's been probably 3 or 4 years since I've watched Inception.
Oh man, it's so good. I mean, I could talk with people for hours on like the top at the end of the movie and how awesome that was.
Oh, I've watched things from him that says I intentionally kept that ambiguous because I didn't want anybody to have like the whole real answer.
I love
Like
it.
there is no real answer. And I'm like, that's frustrating but awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any honorable mentions that we haven't already called out?
So I did. I had like 12 things that I was like, and then we'd be here for a long time. I enjoyed from Jack Reacher, action movie, Tom Cruise, back 2012. Jack Reacher was good.
It was good.
Magnificent Seven from 2016. That was the Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, like the Western movie.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Oh, dude, it was so good. Let's see, Black Panther, we already talked about, but then Avengers Infinity War. I enjoyed those on there too, but
you didn't want to just round that one out and put 4 Avengers movies on there?
I mean,
for your top
it would have
5.
made a solid top 5 list, but nobody wants to hear that. But yeah, no, I like those.
Yeah, I mean, you guys hit the major ones that for me. Black Panther was on there. Inception for sure. Deadpool it was an honorable mention for me. I think Deadpool is creative and they did a lot of fun things. It's a little too lawless, I think, for what I'm critiquing my movies by when I'm watching them. But something that's 2 movies that stood out to me that didn't make the top. I think once again, alternate reality wrestling. This one, Drive, is one of my favorite movies of the last 10 years. I'd say it's like 8 if I was going to put it like a number. But Drive is great. Ryan Gosling. That movie is super low key fun. And Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that one.
So good.
That is a good one.
I thought Deadpool was funny, but to me, it fell more into the comedy. Like my wife had asked me, like, "Hey, do you like this movie more because it's action or more because it's comedy?" I'm like, I like it more because it's funny. But
well, like that for me too is like Drive. Even though it is action, and Nightcrawler, even though they are action, you could almost put them in like the drama Shutter Island category.
Sure, yeah.
Like it's this whole like different. It's not quite, shoot them up, run them up, burn them up, sort them up, hit them up.
My honorable mentions that we haven't mentioned yet, Jurassic World. I thought that one was great.
Okay.
A nice little reboot to the Jurassic series there. I also had Star Wars Force Awakens. Also, Rogue One.
Yes.
I loved Rogue One.
Many people came away from Rogue One saying one of the best Star Wars movies overall, and I'd have to agree with them. It is a great action movie. I mean, it is. It's the telling of the story, bringing down the Death Star.
Well, it's nice that it was set in the same galaxy, but it wasn't part of the storyline. That you could still get the familiarity that came with stuff that you knew, but you're like, hey, this is fresh. This is new.
Very Mandalorian-esque in the way that you can enjoy that.
Great
show.
So good.
Great show.
Let's see what other ones. Dunkirk. I really liked that one. Another Christopher Nolan gem. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I just thought that one's so cool.
I mean,
that was the animated one, right?
Yeah.
That's a fantastic. I don't know where I might put that in like an adventure category for me.
Yeah, I don't know if it's action or not either, but just visually, I was like,
fantastic,
wow, amazing. And then here's one. I don't know if you guys remember this or not. It's only about a half hour long, so it's not like a feature length movie. It's called Kung Fury. Do you guys remember that?
It's longer than it's more.
It's about a half hour, I think.
Is that 10?
It's within the last 10 years, I think.
Never saw it.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's like straight out of the 1980s vibe. I mean, like to the point where there's tracking issues, that, like they built into it. Oh, it's super fun. It's a real quick watch, and it's just every 80s corny joke that you could tell.
Yeah. I know exactly what. Yeah. I was getting confused with the
that Kung Fu Enter the Fist one.
Kung Pao.
What is that one?
Kung Pao.
Kung Pao. That was great as well. That's like early
I like
2000s.
to come to your house.
It's like 2002 maybe.
Yeah.
All right, that rounds
Kung Fu
out.
Hustle is the other one that I was thinking about. On the
okay.
Hustle, lots of kung fu movies.
Yeah.
All right, so what did we miss, guys? What topic should we do next time? Let us know. So you can find us on Instagram at thebickerlist. We changed the name. It used to be at Bickerlist. We changed it. So everything that we're doing over on Instagram right now, we're having a lot of fun over there. We're doing polls. Just it's a quick follow. It should be enjoyable. At the Bickerlist.
Should be.
It should be. We're trying really hard.
Yeah, there's some good guest appearances by some of our sponsors that actually sent us some test packages.
That's
and things.
True.
That's true.
You gotta jump in if you want to see what these things look like in real life. And so, yeah, let us know who won. Tell us how terrible our lists are and, all that stuff. I'm sure
that's half the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really just if you're feeling frustrated, just take it out on us. We can handle it.
Yeah.
It makes for a better mailbag.
It does. Yeah, we really
Bring it to the mailbag.
hurt our feelings. Yeah, anything else you guys want to say before we wrap this up?
That's it.
Poinco Poncho. Thanks to those guys.
Yes, Poinco Ponchos
Playing
coming
cards.
through in the clutch.
Any card you want to play, they have them.
Any cards, guys.
Any card. Pick a
17%.
card. Any card.
17%.
17% off.
Bickerlist.
Bickerlist.
Yep.
PoincoPonchosplayingcards.com.
All right. Thanks for listening to the Bickerlist Podcast. I'm Brad Imbergia. I'm the host, writer, and executive producer. Brian Lawrence and Zach Ford are my co-hosts, writers, and producers. Music in this episode was written and produced by Zach Ford. This episode was engineered, mixed, and edited by Zach Ford. See you next time on the Bickerlist Podcast.
Feeling good, frisky and good.
He's loud.
Frisky and good.
I'm not loud. You're loud.
You're obnoxiously loud.
I'm not obnoxiously loud. That's my voice.
No,
too
that's-
loud,
That's
right?
the problem.
All right. This episode is brought to you by Poinco Poncho.
This is hey, watch out for that. There.
That's a microphone stand, Zach.
I'm super thankful to have them.
Pinko Punchko.
Them has a name. They're paying us good money for this. Poinco Poncho playing cards.
Thank you.